Pamangk-ink. Hello. Ito naman po. At siguro naman, kagaya namin, medyo nauumay na kayo sa Infinity. Yan. Core na ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon. And it's very timely because like, as the title says, it's champing at our heels. And what's champing at our heels? It's the set champs, of course, of set 12, Wilds Unknown.
Set champs again.
Set champs agad. Yun nga, ang bilis ng set cycle na to. It's only barely 2 months. So, next week, meron ng mga set champs na mangyayari sa ibang bansa sa atin na delay ng konti. So, natural din na madelay tayo ng mga 1 linggo. So, before our set champs start. But, it's still a very short time to get acclimated to the meta. So, that is what we're going to talk about today. What you may expect as top decks because it's also going on in international. So it's only fitting that it also reflects somewhat in the locals. Although from what we've seen so far, there are a few differences and we will discuss all that. So yun, without further ado, let us get started with the first deck, the first top deck, which is actually Blurple. In every set, Blurple is always a good deck. Good deck to start with, and right now, apparently, at least in the international, it's tier 1. It's pretty much tier 1, and it's all because of a few cards from Wilds Unknown that have had a really high impact, which is Merryweather and Mrs. Incredible. Those are the 2 cards that really great upgrades for this deck. And of course, Elsa's still here, so until rotation comes, she's still gonna be there, wrecking everyone's day. And with Fauna over there, si Fauna ba yun? Yung isa pang fairy, yeah. 2-1 support, another 2-1 support. So there's there now. It's not even it's a Basil addition. So in this version, at least, see, there's 4 Basils and 3 Faunas. So that's
7 yung
you have 7 options for support. You will always pretty much guaranteed to have a 1-drop that is support. This pretty much makes that support more consistent, and that Elsa line, that 5-ink turn Elsa line, much more scary. And even if you don't get the Elsa line, Sven is gonna be there to also wreck your day if you need something to get down early. Like turn 3. A turn 3 Sven with support is going to take out pretty much any target, no matter how early it comes. So yun, that is Blurple. Ikaw, Hans, what do you think of this?
Iba talaga yung effect ng chunky na may ward, no?
Yeah, so, actually.
Yung Scuttle, yung Merryweather, which comes in cheaper.
Yeah.
So, ayun nga, I guess notable, something to talk about na din, set champs nga for Wilds Unknown. We have to take notice din yung mga cards na mawawala.
Mm-hmm.
So, yung mga magsa-sunset na after this set champs. So, for the next set champs, wala na sila. So, ayun nga, yung the ramp package, Tipo sale, on the cutting block. You mentioned nga yung
Elsa's on the shopping block.
Had an effective power creep na in Frozone. So, we'll see if this deck survives after this set champ. So, ito yung prime time to use it kasi it medyo may full power pa siya.
Yeah, so, this is its final form in this rotation. In a pre-rotation, this is kind of its final form. Now, although, again, internationally, this seems to be the ruling deck. However, in the Philippine meta, I have yet to see someone using this. Because, well, then again, I've only been attending weeklies. There hasn't been any major tournaments that are core. Kasi nga, Infinity, everybody's going Infinity because of DLC, preparing for DLC Manila. But if we see someone in Blurple, they're probably going to be a really good player or has been historically a Blurple player and just slapped on these really nice upgrades from Wilds Unknown. So again, I think we can move on from here because Blurple is Blurple. It's always there every set. It's a really consistent deck. All right.
Let's see. The next deck
one is okay. This
Oh,
is another one. We went from
the your
Lurple to
Paul.
Yerpol.
The
Na
usual
the
suspects.
usual suspects then on Amethyst. There's also the Elsa. There's also the Cheshire Cat. But there is that addition of Dale,
Dale.
who makes
Yes.
Elsa hit for so much harder. It becomes a five. It becomes a five strength challenger the moment it comes into play. So and it curves well too. But of course, first turn, then ramp, then your third turn you put down the Dale. Fourth turn you slam down the Elsa, take out whatever is on the board, and it's just so painful. And of course, this deck gained popularity in the previous set because of that combination of Raging Storm and the library, wherein you pretty much board wipe, but you get to draw all the cards that you from the library with your characters getting banished on the library. So that is one of the main things to do in this deck, but it just got a really, really swell upgrade with Dale. And if I'm not mistaken, there are only two Wilds Unknown cards here. It's just Will of the
Dale's.
Wisp and Dale. That's it. It's still a very powerful deck. Ikaw,
Dale
what do you
really
think?
shaked up the meta. So like Dale nga, you mentioned makes Elsa dangerous, but Dale makes Palace Guard dangerous, Will of the
Yeah,
Wisp
actually.
dangerous, Christopher Robin dangerous. Tapos ayun, the Purple of it all is you don't mind losing these units kasi nga meron these characters kasi meron kang library.
Mm-hmm.
And then ayun nga yung spicy addition dito is yung Black Cauldron, 'di ba? So there's only one. Hoping you might not need it, but it's there if you should you need it.
Yeah.
Wipes are still at a premium, so there's Raging Storm, Horseman Strikes for the evasives. Uh, Pretty standard as long as you get the cards rolling. But with Amethyst card draw, very reliable naman.
Yeah. Also, another thing, no. Remember in previous Yerpol builds, actually in anything that has Grandmother Willow, a Grandmother Willow, you would only quest it when it's really, really clear. But right now, because of the Dale, you can trade it for something more significant because it now hits for
Yes.
two, and that can take out something. It's not anymore a one strength character. It's now technically a two strength character. That and
Yep.
even if you have to sacrifice your Willow for something, a bigger target, a bigger threat, something that is a 4-2 or a 5-2 or whatever, any of those stats that it could banish with a challenge, you'll be willing to trade that Willow easy for that board advantage because now it can banish something actually more consistently. So that is another thing that Dale enables. Of course, the genie also is much much harder to deal with, even if even if you
Yes.
have your evasive challenger there,
4-4.
it now hits for 4. The Madam Mim hits for 7, and of course the damage transfer is another thing that it can do. It banishes something and then transfers damage much much later at the start of your turn. It's just
Yes.
Dale just makes a lot of cards a lot more effective, and I guess that's what it all boils down to here in the Yearpol deck. Yun, mukhang mabilis ang episode na to ngayon kasi wala tayo. Kulang tayo ng isang
Yung
input eh.
yung
Si,
pressure din eh. Like, yun nga, the Yorpal of it all is playing around with the damage. So,
mm,
yeah, Cheshire, Madam Mim, and then yung Ohana,
Ohana,
diba? So,
yeah.
like, playing around with the damage dun sa characters mo,
Mm,
and then if they're not willing to exert theirs, you have Demona. So, yeah, you have tools for the trade, and
yeah,
Dale makes everything lethal,
yeah.
diba?
Speaking of damage, actually, may mga ibang variations din na gamit nila yung mga the new madrigals. Just as
Ooh,
they
yes, yes.
also have payoff or move damage. And it's also the same thing with Blurple. There's some versions I've seen that have a few of the new madrigals in it. So
Isabellas and
so
Luisas,
if
yeah.
you want to go for either of those decks, you do have that option to mix and match. Some people even cut the Cheshire na and replace it with a few madrigals. But me personally, I still think that Cheshire is the better option. But Hey, it really depends on your vision of the deck. And yeah, if it works, it works.
Tulad din nung ano, nung previous deck niya, no? So, not as much as yung previous deck, yung mga magsa-sunset dito, but again, yung Elsa,
Yeah, Elsa
the
Suns.
Genie's on his way out, Palace Guard, but a handful lang, very replaceable pieces, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. So, I believe with Dale talaga, you could slot in Wild's unknown going forward pieces for those na mare-replace naman. Kasi
Mm.
very, ano nga, very staple. That's why the market shows Dale's value talaga.
Let's move on to the next one. Okay, of
Yes.
course, dogs is still there. This is still a tier one deck. It's really hard to let go of this. I've even in the locals I've attended, dogs is always present. Again, I haven't seen the Blurple, which is technically the tier one monster of this set. I haven't seen anyone in the locals, but I've seen the dogs perform. And here, the best card, the best addition that they have, because Tramp is already a given. It's broken card.
Yes.
It's a broken card. But yung Mickey Mouse
Broken.
Expedition Leader, that just
Yes.
protects your dogs,
Board.
your
Yeah.
board so much better. I've seen it. Well, I've fallen victim to this, to that Mickey Mouse. It always is a priority one target for me. And the thing is, you can get value immediately because it can interplay exerted. So interplay exert, quest. Everything else in that board is going to drop down to 0.
Yes.
And if you really need to get rid of them, again, use Mickey Mouse. Quest. Just get them down below to 2 strength each, and then under the sea the hell out of them, and they're gone. So,
Ay,
it's
this deck.
yeah, high this deck. High this deck indeed. So yeah, it's still very effective, still very strong, and with the addition of that Mickey Mouse, and some people even add the Dale, although I don't think it's necessary. The Dale is if you just really wanna be a bit more cruel and you want to challenge into their characters, then yes, put in the Dale. But if you just wanna quest out, protect your board, Mickey Mouse is more than enough. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it is the only Wilds Unknown edition in this version of the
Deck.
deck.
Yes.
As in, it's the only one. That's all you need because it's already that strong. Some people would actually cut the other tramp, the 2/8 tramp, and replace it with a Dale. Or add a few snow forts in it, maybe, but they're gonna have to replace the Chromicon with that. So if they want to be a bit more mid-rangey, that's what they can do.
I think dogs then do well in ano, in Infinity, no? Like
Yeah, the
with
Cherna
the main
dogs still.
pieces, Cherna dogs, right? Well, speaking of Infinity and with the previous decks in mind, ito talagang dogs would take a hit with core going forward kasi
Yeah,
the
actually.
dogs came in the previous cycle. So will be relegated to Infinity most of the pieces.
Yeah.
Baka nga ayun nga we mentioned Trap Street Smart Dog might be too good of a card. We'll see if it survives prior
Yeah.
Attack of the Brain.
That's true. I guess
Kasi
naman,
they have the
Tramp just really
value.
activates this deck, even in Infinity, especially in Infinity, because fills your uh, it fills your discard pile with all of these characters that you can feed into Chernabog.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and of course it can
Big
pretty much dig for anything you need. If you need another Tramp, take it. If you need the UTS, you've got it. You need the Chromicon, you're probably gonna get it if you're drawing 8 or drawing 5 even, and then discarding 5. Doesn't matter as long as you get that card that you need. God, this deck is just so good. And
consistent and it takes a bit of ano nga talaga, finesse
it's, yeah,
playing around it kasi
but yeah, but it's not an easy deck to play, definitely.
yes, you need the medyo high roll
Uh
depends but it has its consistency naman when the one
yeah.
drops with the weenies nga.
Although yun nga, si Mickey does make playing the deck a lot easier because it makes you less afraid to quest. Yeah,
survivability.
it becomes more survivable. And that is dogs. That is the third
We know about
deck
dogs.
that we know.
Everyone knows about
Everybody knows
dogs.
about this. So those are the top three decks, all of them tier one. And now let's go down to the tier twos. I would think that they are tier
Hey,
twos.
toys,
And
finally.
toys finally, because this is actually a very, very popular deck. Again, I would count it as tier two because it's not as strong as the tier ones that we've presented previously. But this deck is just popular because everybody just wants to play with toys. It's a fun deck to play, and in the locals that I've been to, I've played against three.
Maybe you've seen this recently, this most of the mga 90% of this we've seen recently.
Yeah, and again, it's because it's toys. It's a new archetype. Most of this will actually all of it, I think, will
All
survive
of it
rotation.
survives. Yes.
So
Let's just take a quick look. I think so. Yeah.
yeah, everyone survives. This is pretty much a rotation proof deck, and it's fun to play. And I've seen it work so well, especially with the first time I encountered this in a tournament. No, I played it and played against it, and I made the mistake of letting the Jessies run amok, and that was a big regret. Woody is not even a big threat. If yeah, sure, he's kind of a lord in a sense that he adds willpower to every single toy, but Jessie is the one that you need to worry about because she just, as long as there are two other toys on board, she draws a card. And she can also do that minus thing. Every time you play a toy that is two cost or less, or not even a toy, a card that's two cost or less, if you sing a song, if you sing Adela, that
Counts.
it counts. So you get the minus, and again, I made the mistake of letting two Jessies on board run amok. Yeah, and I couldn't do anything. My challengers can't do anything. Another good addition to this deck, actually complements this deck so much, is the Headless Horseman. The Headless Horseman just really, when you've got a whiteboard and you banish one of the things with a horseman and everybody gets +1 strength and just proceeds to decimate everybody, and you want those toys to banish themselves in challenges anyway because you want the Sid to feed something to the Sid, which gains you lore. Again, the key cards here: Sid Phillips, the toy surgeon, which gives lore whenever a toy gets banished. A toy, not even just yours, even the opponents
On either side.
on either side.
Turn. Yes.
So it can be,
Your turn. Yeah,
so it can be a sudden lore burst when you get Sid down. Although the pitfalls of this deck is you have to be careful with your Woody, the 4-cost Woody, and then you've got a friend in me. Because I've actually never lost to this deck in a best of 3 scenario. In all of my 3 matches, I've won them all. And it was because I guess they got a little too happy with the Woody and You've Got a Friend in Me. And whenever they got top 4, diba? Sid will always be one of them. And Sid goes down to the bottom. And they can't gain lore. They just have to...
Burn Sid.
Yeah, you bottom deck Sid suddenly. It's like, and it's the most painful thing. You could see it in their faces when they bottom deck a Sid. You've Got a Friend in Me or a Woody. And there are also some versions that actually run BR guests. This does run BR guests, but does run a bit more BR guests. So yeah, this is pretty much a solid deck already. I don't think there's gonna be much variation here. I don't even think a Dale is necessary because the only one that would benefit from that would be the Woody. Everyone else is pretty much chunky on their own. So yeah,
Headless Horseman helps with that.
Mm-hmm.
Very consistent. Yeah, it has its own pseudo draws. I mean, Woody helps with that. You've Got a Friend in Me is a very reliable draw two effectively, since most of these almost all of these cards are toys.
Babyhead is a reliable draw engine.
Like you said Jesse, once on the board, may effect na siya.
It dominates.
So
Pretty much.
Because you have cards here that can enter, mapapasok siya dun sa 2 eh. So yung hand in the box, you don't
Yeah.
have to pay ink for it. Bullseye, 2
Bullseye.
cost.
Pasok.
Yung Woody skill na Let's Get Moving,
Yeah.
2 for free. It's 2 cost. So everything works well talaga uh,
Synergies.
with all of it. And then once everything clicks, maybe ayun nga lang, stuff to watch out for is hopefully hindi ma-snipe yung songs mo,
Yeah.
the crucial songs you need kasi ayun nga, early turns talaga when you get the bullseye early
Mm-hmm.
with the discount, you can sing that easy, 'di ba?
Yeah. Another thing I saw about this is the resilience of this deck. As long as there's one character that is left on the board, it can easily recover. Very,
Mm.
very easily recover. Again, between the Dela, which can draw a card, uh, you've got a friend in me, which can draw you 2 more toys. And again, they're not expensive. So you can bring as long as you have 5 ink, 5 ink on you, you can pretty much fill up your board again, no problem.
Mhm.
So, and the ink ceiling for this deck is 6, obviously, because you need to bring down Sid.
It's kind of hard then wiping eh. Like if you try and banish them, like snipe them or whatsoever, they get value,
Yeah,
'di ba? And
they
then
do get value.
hand in the box meron, bouncing ducky meron.
Yeah.
And then some of them aren't even eligible for yung under the sea nga. So Bullseye survives under the sea, Jesse survives under the sea. So uh, right now everyone is running this kasi nga consistent and not a lot of ways to go about it.
And it's easy it's pretty
Face them
easy
head
to
on.
pilot. It's very very beginner friendly and very forgiving. Yun. So that
That's toys
is the
for you.
toys, the RA toys that is really really popular right now in the Philippines.
Buti
Everybody's
may Ruby
yeah.
representation.
Yes, finally Ruby Amber.
Finally.
As a Ruby Amber enjoyer, I am actually happy for this deck. Okay. Let's go
Alright.
to the next one. The next one is
G.
uh I would okay. This is a very there's many variations to blue green right now. But
Okay.
it still has the Philips and the MMS and all that and all of the board wipes, and it's still a rather difficult deck to pilot. But the big addition here is Milo Thatch. Milo Thatch makes this deck so much faster. Imagine having that 7 cost, easy enough for
Or
this thing to play. Ward 3/5/5, 3 lore questor, and can draw you a card at the end of its turn.
mhm.
It's just a beast of an addition to this already powerful deck. But again, it takes a lot of practice to pilot this deck. This is not something that you can just pick up and go. The lines of this deck, and just you can see in the ratios, it's not that simple. Especially see you have
Yes.
those one of Bend to My Will. The you have the someone will lose his head to feed into to help the under the sea. Some people would cut under the sea down to 3. Some will totally ignore someone will lose his head and replace it with an ink geyser. So there are many many ways to play this
Options.
deck depending on what path you want to take. But what's important is you get those big top end threats like Clarabelle, Milo Thatch, and Prince Philip, and control your opponent's board and win the game.
BG.
Yeah.
Out of my heart. I've been playing a bit of BG recently.
They're a
Same
different
naman.
BG.
It's a different BG, but ayun nga, I'm getting a taste of ramp nga talaga. And
Mm,
I'm seeing this, ayun nga din. So, as opposed to the previous deck na rotation proof,
mm-hmm,
this takes a hit with yung Prince Philip nga going,
mm-hmm.
yung Royal Explorer. So, will we see more of Big Prince Philip going forward? We'll see. Another another notable graduate is si
Graduate.
Clarabel,
Oh,
'di ba?
Clarabel, graduate.
Graduate na si Clarabel. So, very staple in BG since you can get her out early with ramp. Kaso, ayun nga, a lot of people are hesitant in investing na. I mean, we'll see kung viable siya in Infinity. But yeah, consistent naman. The ramp pieces are there, draw pieces are there. Wag ka lang din talagang maagro. Diba?
Yeah. Aggro is the biggest enemy of this. But still, again, if you can get that Clarabelle early, and you can sing that MMS early, then you would have not much of a problem handling the aggro threats that come your way. So yeah. How many is that already? 5? Oh my god, we're breezing through this episode.
So
Kulang
yes,
kasi tayo ng
yes.
inputs.
And we know these decks already. Everyone knows these archetypes of color. So maybe curious nga yung mga tao on Wilds Unknown additions and kung ano yung prevalent overseas.
Mm,
Eh, syempre, ang yun nga, yung input ko is we have to take note of kung sino yung mga mawawala. Kasi,
mm,
di ba, you build this deck for set champs tapos you might not be using the same deck
mm.
in the next set champ. So, something to keep in mind. Though, ayun nga, with BG, like I said, I've been getting a taste of it recently. I understand na yun nga, yung the one drops of it. So, uh, si Clarabel nga lang yung character, no? And then we have developed, I mean, ideally, you don't develop your brain turn one, diba?
Well, it's better than nothing.
It's a card still in your
It's still
hand,
a card in
so
your hand. It's still an extra card in
it's
your hand.
inkable. So, you might need it kasi hindi naman ito, this configuration in particular, hindi naman siya hurting for uninkable. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay lang siya. But yun nga, you have those usual ramp pieces that may be going away or hopefully gets a replacement. And then, ayun nga, someone will lose his head is the song, ayun nga, so katabi siya nung Malicious, Mean, and Scary. So, it's the combo song card for the big wipe. So,
Mm.
Malicious, Mean, and Scary for Prince Philip, and then someone will lose his head for
For
Under the
yeah, Under
Sea.
the Sea. Yun. Okay, and I guess that is all we can say about blue green, and we can go on to the last deck. Wow, this is gonna be a very short episode.
Everyone knows PS.
And
PS.
of course, actually, I think we're gonna spend a lot of time here because Purple Steel has a lot of variations, but this is the most common variation, which is uh still has a mid-range element to it. It's very aggro, but it still has a challenger element to it, which because of the Calhouns, because of the was that the Black Heron and all that. But this thing still wants to gain lore fast, and that's why it still has that Amethyst Chromicons to keep your hand full. The card, it doesn't have an Elsa, so it's not that mid-range, but it does have again those instant lore gain cards like the Cobra, the White Rose. There's Dash Bar, which again,
A Wilds edition, yeah.
a very very good addition because you can either challenge with it if you wanna play the mid-range game, or you can quest with it and get value immediately because he can quest the moment he enters play. There's also, of course, that location, which is Zootopia, which allows you to go through the deck. And again, another instant lore gain card, which is the Gathering Knowledge and Wisdom, which is one of your favorites, I believe, Hans. You've gotten me with that card so many times.
No, not that card in particular. It's, they don't come back.
Yeah, it's
Because
although
never come
they
back.
never come back. Although this version, but speaking of other versions, there is a more aggro version of this that replaces the Calhouns with the Lilo bundled up.
Bundled up.
It leans in
Right.
more on the questing power. There's some that would cut replace Zootopia actually with Fat Cat's with the Fat Cat location, the one that 1/6 lore, which is a bit more expensive but gives you more lore and is a good finisher. At least you control their board and then finish them off with a 2 lore location. And yeah, some of them would even add "This is my family" to this.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
they would
yes,
add "This
yes.
is my family."
Lore and draw.
Yeah, actually encountered because so far in my locals, I've only had one loss, and that is against PS. In the locals that
Yes.
I've attended, I've only had one loss, and that this is what got me. Uh, this it was a close game, but still got me in the end because that instant lore gain just gets you when it's in the final stretches. So yeah, that is
I think
the
yung ano
purple
nga
steel.
'no,
What do you think?
yung the Wilds Unknown addition to this is yung John Smith na jokingly
Ayun,
making a
si John
wish.
Smith making a yun. That's another version. Some will cut the
Aggro,
Mulan and then use the John Smith. The one cost
Tulor,
John Smith making a wish,
making a wish.
Sultan making a wish. Sino pa ba? Apart from Lilo making a wish, si Maleficent making a wish.
The one drops 1/1.
Yeah, the one drop 1/1 2 lores. 2 lore questers are definitely going to boost the questing power of this if you want to lean in more on that aggro direction. So,
It's yeah, very very homey, very familiar
mm,
in the local scene. So yun nga, the recent big tourneys, admittedly Infinity siya, we've seen a lot of people running aggro nga.
aggro. Actually,
So
it's a very aggro meta right now, both in Infinity and in core. Although in core, the only one that is not so aggro again is the toys. But everyone else, there's Amber Steel aggro with toys, which I've seen, but it's not in the unfortunately it's not in this discussion because it's not yet a top there. I would put that under a rogue. Yeah, I would put it under rogue. It's still I believe that Nico Solatre was able to take down a tournament in Kaikan using aggro Amber Steel toys. So
well, yeah, same flavor din naman. You have the staple amber toy pieces and
mm,
then the whether it's yung challenge package of Calhoun or yung angry package of Snipes nga. You have
yeah,
strengths and other damaging actions and songs that Steel offers. So yeah, the PS again, we'll see if it survives after rotation. You'll lose a lot of these pieces. Giant Cobra,
yeah,
White
gone. White Rose
Rose,
gone.
uh, Doc, diba? Gone.
Yeah, Doc's gone. But I think these won't be too harmful because Amethyst will still have its very, very good card draw options. It will always have its challengers. It will always have its instant lore gains. Then Dashpar being one of them. I think that's the direction of instant that they're going for with this instant lore gain. That they're although I is Dashpar an anomaly? I don't know. We don't know.
I guess we'll see. I mean, the next set hopefully has some cards nga talaga that are prime additions or if not additions to current decks,
Mm,
some standouts to bring other color combinations out of the bottom tiers.
yeah,
Kasi we need parity. Diba? I
yeah.
mean, as I've been saying this episode, na we've seen these decks before. So, for some, it might be getting na, ay, ayan na naman, the usual deck, so this counters that and whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
if we see new color combinations, like what if, diba? What if we get a top tier Ruby Emerald, diba?
That's not far from happening. There, I think
Diba?
the design team is actually going towards that direction of giving the Ruby Emerald something more to use, something more to play with because well, it's been one of the least popular color combinations along with Ruby Steel.
Ruby Steel.
Yeah, I mean, I actually love Ruby Steel. I would love to play Ruby Steel, but there's just something that keeps it from being viable in a tournament setting. And I guess it's the card draw. With
Mm.
Scrooge, I thought that it would have something, because there was a sky build that was kind of an aggro red steel, and it beat me in one tournament actually. And Nicole was piloting it, so and Nicole's not that bad of a pilot, and she beat me. I was using a core Kiwi back then, and I just couldn't do any. Well, it's not that I couldn't do anything, but I wasn't able to outpace her because that Scrooge just prevented me from questing. Anyway,
Mm.
we since we're already talking about those, and unfortunately we don't have slides for this because we only really wanted to discuss the top 6 of these decks, but we can go ahead and just maybe put out a shout out to the decks that are kind of roguish, and again, that's
Oh,
uh Amber Steel. That's the Amber Steel aggros, the Amber Steel songs.
socks. They're
They're
good.
they're again they're still pretty high up. I wouldn't say that they're not rogue, but they're like just below these decks that we just presented right now. I think the best, sorry, I wasn't best, but the most roguish deck right now is again my color blue steel,
Blue steel.
which has always been in that position wherein you can get some wins and have fun with it, but you're never gonna get the top spot.
This is. I mean, you say that, but you keep mentioning you only had like what a handful of losses the past few casuals.
Well, yes, but that's, and maybe it's also the reason why I didn't want to talk about blue steel right now because I'm keeping something secret.
Mm. And not so secret for those who went
Yeah,
against
but
you.
not so secret for those who went against me. But I am keeping something secret. I am going on a blue steel tournament tour currently. Just trying to visit as many locals as I can. Recently, I was just in High Market, and I was in my first visit in Play Cafe, so that was nice. I finally got to play in Play Cafe. And next, I am hoping to visit SideQuest, see what I can do there. I couldn't unfortunately visit Mox/Infinity because I have something on Friday, but yeah, I will be testing. I will be trying to visit a lot of the most common tournament haunts so that I could test out what I have. Anyway, speaking of events, we can
Yes,
go ahead
yes.
and talk about the upcoming Lorcana events that we have. Just so it's, again, this is housekeeping, and the Toy Story Core events have been announced. Uh, some of them are not officially announced yet, but we just saw it in the group chat, so I think it's good enough to announce here. Again, High Market will be core constructed with
Juices.
12, at least 12, actually sa kanila, ano it's not Toy Story, at least 12 set 12 cards. Sorry, at least
Mhm.
20 set 12 cards.
20.
At least 20 set 12 cards for your deck, and you can join the High Market Core Toy Story 5 tournament on June 6 in Habi Kaikan. It's also core on June 6, and they're a bit more strict. They are very strict about Toy Story, it being 20 Toy Story cards in your deck, which means that blue steel is out because there's not a single sapphire or steel a toy. Not even there's also no amethyst toys. So you're restricted to the 3 remaining colors, or at least if you're going to use one of the colors without toys, you have to pair it with the color with the toys. And that's where we are. Also in Hobby Stadium, it's gonna be the same as Kaikan,
Infinity.
but it's gonna be Infinity. So you can go wild with the card pool, but there still needs to be at least 20 Toy Story cards in there. So again, us Amethyst, Sapphire, and Steel will have a bit more limited options, but make it work. And in side quest, it's still to be determined whether it's core or infinity. Likely core, and it's gonna be on June 4 again. High Market June 6, Kaikan June 6, Hobby Stadium June 7, and side quest on June 14. But for more details, please do visit the Facebook pages of High Market, Kaikan, and Stadium because SideQuest has yet to post their official Toy Story tournament poster or social media post. because we this was only announced in the group chat in the
Jeez.
SideQuest,
Right.
yeah, in the SideQuest group chat. So yeah, and let's go to the more general events that we have, which is the, yeah, as we've mentioned, Set
Mm-hmm.
Champs is just around the corner. It's really may pre-order na nga. Ouch.
June na. If you're watching this, it's already
It's
June.
June. It's already June. And again, the Wilds Unknown Set Champs, only one has officially announced, which is on June 20th. Actually, they haven't officially announced it yet. Again, it's still on the group chats of these LGSs. They mentioned that it was going to be in June 20, but they're still going to be posting the final details. They have yet to post the final details on their respective Facebook on social media pages. And of course, we're gonna go to the what we've been announcing for the past few weeks, the Infinity events, Lako Ka Na Lorcana Open in Hobby Stadium on July 9, a few days before DLC Manila in July
Manila.
11. So there's likely gonna be a smattering of pro players there because there is a $1,000 cash prize for the winner, and $1,000 is a good chunk of change, whether you're from the Philippines or from another country with a much higher GDP. So and and of course there is DLC Beijing, which I
This
don't think we
weekend,
will have
yeah.
a contingent because we are all kind of financially crippled from the gas prices and the previous DLCs that we had to attend.
Right, right. I mean, yeah, with DLC Manila looming din naman,
Yeah,
diba? So everyone's just gearing up for that,
yeah.
the home base advantage,
And it's also
so to speak.
DLC Beijing is gonna be one of the tougher DLCs to attend because at least in Taipei, in Hong Kong, there is a good number of English speakers that it's easier for us people in English speaking countries or even the West to go to and at least be able to communicate. Beijing is a much tougher. I mean, I'm not saying that there are no English speakers there, but they're just fewer and far between. So that's also another barrier that is kind of stopping some of ours us to to go form some sort of delegation. And again, apart from the financial, if someone can't go alone, no one can go like just one or two, because you're really gonna need a lot of support. So at least there's a lot of you there to keep you, from getting lost or something. To make sure that you are safe in a country wherein
In a
it's much
foreign country.
much harder to communicate. So yeah, and of course DLC Manila at Space at Wanayala, which we already saw because of pics. Because of pics, we were able to get a feel of the venue, and it seems like it's a good venue. It's very big, and it's actually slightly bigger than the one in Taipei. So that's good news. It's just
Oh,
slightly bigger, slightly. It's almost the same length, probably just a little bit narrower. Sorry, it's a little bit narrower but a little longer. So pretty much almost the same floor area as that of DLC Taipei. But of course, Hong Kong was still really, really big. Hong Kong was huge. You could, it'll take you probably a good 2 minute sprint to get from one side to the other. So,
we look forward din to hosting talaga DLC Manila. So we are familiar with the venue, we're familiar
mm,
with the local scene. So if any international viewers or players nga or coming over for DLC Manila, just hit us up.
yeah, hit us
Let
up.
us
We can
know
help you
if you
out.
have questions, if you have concerns, or
Yeah, about your safety.
general guidance. Come DLC kasi I mean that's what community is
Yeah.
for, 'di ba? So we're connected ink-wise, 'di ba? So
Mm-hmm.
we might not see each other that often, and DLC Manila is an opportunity for that. So
Yes,
we welcome everyone, and then even if you're here not from here, uh we look forward into having successful Lorcana events talaga. 'Di ba?
definitely, definitely. Ayun. Anyway, that is it mga Pamangk-ink. But before we end, please let us know what you think of the current core meta, since we're all kind of infinitied out. And what do you think about the decks that we just presented, or if you have any other decks that you think will be effective in the Wilds Unknown core meta, please sound off in the comments. Again, please do like, share, subscribe. This has been a very quick episode of LorcanTito. Wow. Iba talaga pag konti lang tayo, konti lang yung opinions.
Speed lang, speed.
Speed. This is a kind of a speed run. Yeah, and that is it. Thank you very much. You all have a good day. We'll see you in the tournaments. Bye-bye.